Wolverines fought gods, killers, and entire armies, but this was never a war, it was a hunt. One that started in the snow a century ago, when an alien hunter found something it didn't understand. A man who wouldn't stay dead. It tried to claim him, but Wolverine wounded it and managed to escape its hunt. And from that moment on, the Predator wasn't just looking for a trophy, it was chasing a legend. Predator vs. Wolverine is the story of two monsters locked in a century of blood. From frozen caves to jungle ambushes, Black Ops missions to sword fights in Japan. This isn't just a crossover, it's a ritual. A century-long conflict written in scars, blood, and obsession. And it only ends one way. Predator vs. Wolverine was published by Marvel Comics in 2023, a 4-issue limited series written by Benjamin Percy, with artwork by Ken Lashley, Greg Land, Andrea DeVito, Hayden Sherman, Kei Zama, and Gavin Guidry. The series marked a major milestone, the first time Predator officially crossed over into the Marvel Universe. This was only made possible after Disney acquired 20th Century Studios, bringing the Yaoja under the same corporate roof as Wolverine, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. Crossovers involving the Predator aren't new. Since the early 90s, Dark Horse Comics had turned the alien hunter into a kind of universal apex predator. Batman, Superman, Judge Dredd, Tarzan, and even Archie. It was always a question of who's next. But this crossover felt different. It wasn't a gimmick, not a one-shot novelty, it was personal. It was built for Logan. And with Percy already spearheading Wolverine and X-Force at the time, Marvel gave him the keys to tell this story properly. Not as a one-off brawl, but as a mythical conflict spanning decades, told across Logan's life like blood on the snow. Predator vs. Wolverine doesn't unfold like a standard crossover. It doesn't build towards a twist or try to surprise you. It strips Wolverine's life down to what it's always been, a series of violent interruptions. And then shows us that he's never really been alone in that pain. Someone, something, has always been watching, waiting, hunting. It begins in Alaska, long before the claws were metal, before Logan embraced what he is. He's feral, isolated, living in a cave beside a bear. There's no mission, no past, just instinct. Hunt, sleep, survive. Meanwhile, a predator has arrived on Earth. Young, inexperienced, learning its tools as it learns to kill, moving through prey species like training exercises, until its path leads to Logan. In town, a stranger sees Logan fight. Fast, brutal, and efficient. One of the few times Logan brushes up against people. The man offers him a job to track down his kidnapped son. But it all turns out to be a lie, a setup. There is no boy, just greed, betrayal, and a cold-blooded trap. After Logan kills the men they were tracking, he's shot in the back by the man who hired him, left for dead on the cabin floor. And that's when the Predator arrives. It blasts the man's head off before he can speak, steps into the room like the game hunter it is. And as it moves in to claim the man's spine, Wolverine, having fully healed, strikes at the Predator. He slashes its throat open. The Predator responds with a blade through his gut, and both fall back, wounded, unfinished. Logan flees into the snow, broken and bleeding, chased back to his cave, but the Predator blocks his path. And that's when the unexpected happens. From the shadows, the bear lunges. It slams into the Predator, dragging it down into the dark in a flash of teeth and fury, nature defending its own. Logan survives, just barely. He limps away with one of the Predator's weapons clutched in hand, not a trophy, but proof that he lived. And behind him, the Predator rises again, wounded but holding the bear's severed head. This wasn't a victory, it was a declaration that the hunt had only just begun. Years later in South America, Logan is working with Team X, a Black Ops unit built for durability, high body counts, and zero questions asked. He's dropped into the jungle alongside Sabretooth, Maverick, Jackson, and Cruel. The mission is simple: stop a guerrilla coup before it sparks into something bigger. But the jungle has already gone quiet. There are no patrols, no resistance, just silence and bodies, flayed, mutilated, and strung up like ritual warnings. The Predator is back, and this time it's not alone. The ambush comes fast. Cruel is crushed and killed by the Predator's net. Jackson is decapitated and her corpse is wired with explosives. When Logan and Maverick approach her body, she detonates, injuring them both. Sabretooth's mind gets lost in the battle, going full Mac from the Predator movie by firing into the trees with a minigun. A spear still finds his spine, but he stays conscious just long enough to reverse it and impales his attacker in return. Elsewhere, Maverick wounds another Predator in a brutal up-close blast of gunfire to the chest. But what happens next is unexpected. The surviving Predators help him die with dignity. They aren't monsters, they're a culture. Logan starts to see it. They kill with purpose, with code, and in that code he sees himself reflected back. He turns to the men he was sent to kill, and joins them instead, forming a trap. They lure two Predators into an explosion using the weapon Logan had taken all those years ago in Alaska. One dies in the explosion, but not the one that matters. The one from Alaska stirs from the rubble. Its obsession won't let it die just yet. Next comes Weapon X. Logan is stripped down, half drowned in steel and trauma. He's not just being turned into a weapon, he's being unmade, and the Predator chooses that moment to strike. It slices through the facility like it's built from paper. Guards fall, scientists crumble. It doesn't hesitate, doesn't slow. When it finds Logan, he's still unconscious, mid-bonding, mid-suffering. The Predator doesn't finish him, it studies him, opens his chest, cuts away flesh. This isn't a trophy hunt anymore, this is worship. Then Logan wakes and stabs the Predator. It reacts instantly, releases a canister of gas that eats through his skin, melting the flesh from his face in seconds. No scream, just exposed bone and silence. The Predator stares down at what's left, an adamantium skull, the perfect trophy, and so he takes him. The Predator boards him onto its ship, not as prey, but as proof of something extraordinary. But Logan isn't gone. He regenerates, and when he rises, he tears through the ship's hull in a frenzy of claws and fury. Logan is ejected from the ship, crashing back down to Earth like a meteor. But something else crashes with him. The Predator's mask. The mask is recovered from the wreckage. It's studied, taken apart, repurposed. And from this alien tech, the scientists at Weapon X build something new. The control helmet. The very device that would keep Logan chained to the nightmare that follows for years. The Predator didn't just interrupt his transformation, he helped complete it. Years pass and Logan finds his way to Japan, looking for something most killers never get to ask for: peace. He trains under Muramasa, trying to live by discipline, not instinct. But Predators don't forget, and then his one returns, watching from the trees. Muramasa sees it, but he doesn't stop it, nor does he help Logan either. He believes if Logan wants to move forward, he has to face what he's running from. The fight is fast, brutal. Logan opens with the sword. The Predator meets it with his own clawed blades. The fight starts off respectful, honorable, but then it blasts the sword from Logan's hands, and he switches to his own claws. But before it can truly begin, the Predator vanishes, disappearing with its cloaking tech as the hand arrives. Ninjas swarm the area. The Predator has no quarrel with them. Its hunt is with one man, and one man only. Then comes the worst violation. Of all the places it could have chosen, this is the one that cuts deepest. The Xavier Institute isn't a battlefield, it's a sanctuary. The one place where Logan isn't a weapon, or an experiment, or a threat. Just a teacher, a protector. But peace doesn't stop the hunt. The Predator infiltrates the mansion with terrifying precision. It takes out Charles Xavier first, fast, before he can even sound a mental alarm. The upper floors are breached, the walls are compromised. It doesn't go after the students. It's not here for collateral. It's here to shatter Logan's calm. He charges towards the chaos, but the Predator is already 2 steps ahead. It uses the distraction to strike. Logan is nearly killed, escaping only with Nightcrawler's help. But this isn't the same creature he met in Alaska. It's older now, smarter, more patient, and it changes tactics. It grabs Rogue, doesn't harm her, just threatens to, and that's enough. Logan stops fighting, offers himself up to save her. The Predator leads him towards the ship, its hunt complete, or so it thinks, because the X-Men aren't done. They strike before Logan disappears. They hit hard, forcing the Predator to retreat, but the hunt remains unfinished. But the message is clear. If Logan builds a home, the Predator will come for it. Because to the Predator, Logan isn't just prey, he's a story that hasn't ended yet. And finally, we return to Canada, where it will end. Logan makes a choice. After a century of unfinished fights, he decides he's the one who'll end this. He takes the Predator's mask, recovered years ago by Weapon X, and uses it as bait. A signal, a challenge, one hunter calling to another. The trap is slow, methodical. Logan lets the Predator hit him, lets it build confidence, draw blood, believe the fight is already won. Every blast, every stumble, every retreat is deliberate. He's not running, he's leading. But the cost is real. The Predator's tech knocks him off a cliffside, slamming him into the river below. He sinks to the bottom of the lake, buried by rocks. But when the Predator comes to claim its kill, Logan uses his own blood as a cover, a smokescreen to disappear beneath the current. The Predator surfaces, scanning, hunting, but it's not alone anymore. Logan is watching, coated in mud, silent and still, trying to trick the heat sensors, just like Dutch did all those years ago. But this isn't a movie, and the Predator has learned. It strikes the body in front of it, and finds only an eye left behind like bait. And that's when Logan pounces. The final fight isn't clean, it's not cinematic, it's raw, frenzied, instinctive. Claw against blade, flesh against armor, both of them bleed, both of them break. And when the Predator knows it's over, it reaches for the one thing it has left, its self-destruct system. Logan doesn't flinch, he just smiles, and the forest is swallowed in fire. And when the smoke clears, Logan rises from the ash, burned, bleeding, but alive. In the wreckage, he finds one of the Predator's blades. Not a trophy, but a reflection. A piece of the hunt that shows him exactly what he's become. At its core, Predator vs. Wolverine isn't about victory, it's about endurance. About what it costs to be hunted for a lifetime, and what it means to keep surviving when there's no finish line. Logan isn't just fighting for his life, he's fighting for who he is. And the Predator, it's not hunting for sport anymore, it's looking for something it understands. Each chapter gives us a different version of Logan. In Alaska, he's feral, living by instinct, nameless and wild. The Predator sees raw potential, but nothing complete. In South America, Logan is part of a Black Ops team, tactical, controlled, but the jungle strips all that away. When everything collapses, Logan adapts, learns, begins to see the Predator not as a monster, but a reflection. At Weapon X, that reflection becomes something darker. Logan is being transformed, mind erased, body reforged, and the Predator doesn't attack. It watches, studies, and when it marks him, it's not for victory, it's reverence. Logan has become something worth remembering. But Logan never asked for that. In Japan, he tries to change, trains under Muramasa, chooses the sword over the claws. But when the Predator returns, that fragile piece shatters. He's learning the same lesson again. No matter how far he runs, the hunt always finds him. At Xavier School, it stops being about Logan alone. The Predator goes after his piece, his students, his sanctuary. Not to kill them, but to remind him that no safe place lasts forever. This isn't just pursuit, it's psychological warfare. And Benjamin Percy writes that conflict with restraint. He doesn't overwrite Logan's thoughts, he trusts the reader to feel the weight. Most of the emotion comes from pacing, setting, and silence. He lets Logan's scars speak louder than his words. That control makes the story land harder. There's no melodrama, just inevitability. And what's most terrifying isn't that the Predator keeps coming, it's that Logan understands why. They're not just enemies, they're mirrors. Both shaped by pain, both bond to codes that they didn't choose. But while the Predator wants the hunt to last forever, Logan just wants to be left alone. In the final issue, Logan stops running, stops resisting, he lets it come, and when the fight ends, he doesn't feel triumphant. He feels release, not from the creature, but from the chase. Each chapter of Predator vs. Wolverine is drawn by a different artist, and that choice doesn't just mark time, it reflects the shifting versions of Logan himself. The results vary, but together they give the story visual weight. Greg Land opens with the Alaska flashback. His polished, photo-reference style makes for clean layouts, but drains the sequence of the wild, primal energy it needs. Logan looks too posed, and the violence is too tidy. Andrea DeVito brings texture and chaos to the South American jungle though. His pages breathe heat and motion. The action is sharp, frantic, and alive. The closest the book gets to classic Predator carnage. Hayden Sherman handles Weapon X with raw, jagged intensity. Panels feel like they're drawn from inside Logan's trauma. It's ugly but honest, perfect for a chapter about losing your humanity. Kai Zima gives the Japan sequences clarity and restraint. Her art reflects Logan's attempt at discipline. Her work carries quiet, emotional precision. Gavin Guidry brings warmth to the Xavier School section, just enough to make the Predator's arrival feel like a true violation. The action here is tight and intimate, focused more on fear than spectacle. And Ken Lashley closes the book with the final showdown, and delivers. His Logan is heavy, scarred, mythical. The terrain is rugged, shadowed, and unforgiving, and the action hits hard. It feels like a true ending. The Predator remains visually consistent throughout, always alien, always watching, but changing its look throughout the years. This isn't a cohesive looking book, but it's not meant to be. Each style reflects a different face of the same war. Predator vs. Wolverine doesn't reinvent the crossover. It doesn't hit with the cultural weight or raw momentum of Batman vs. Predator, a book that felt like lightning in a bottle. That series was lean, terrifying, and immediate. It carved itself into comics history by doing one thing exceptionally well, showing what happens when a ruthless hunter meets someone who refuses to die quietly. This book is doing something different. Benjamin Percy doesn't write a single encounter, he writes a legacy, a century-spanning obsession that turns the Predator into more than a monster. It becomes a constant, a presence that haunts Wolverine's evolution from feral loner to Weapon X to reluctant protector. Each time Logan changes, the Predator returns. Each time the hunt resets. The structure, shifting across time, across versions of Logan, is ambitious and it mostly works. There are chapters that feel sharper than others, some moments that linger, and others that move too quickly. But the book understands its core idea. This isn't about winning. It's about surviving the attention of something that sees you completely. Percy doesn't push Wolverine to a new emotional breaking point, but that might be the point. Wolverine doesn't grow from this, he endures it, he absorbs it. Like every other trauma, it becomes part of his history, one more scar layered over the old ones. As a crossover, it's thoughtful, tense, often visually striking. As a story, it's something quieter, a cold reflection on what it means to be hunted for who you are, and what it means to stare into that obsession and recognize it. Because the Predator wasn't just trying to kill Logan, it was studying him. And by the end, Wolverine doesn't beat it because he's a better killer. He survives because he understands the hunt. He's learned to live with the things that won't let him go. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has been Comic Page Turners, where I post daily shorts all about comic books, and whenever I can, I dive into longer form content like this. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into comics, characters, and the stories that shaped us, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. It really helps the channel grow, and I appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to watch these. If you want to see another epic crossover comic, click the Robocop link on screen now. And remember, whether it's a single issue or a trade, there's always another page to turn. Keep reading, and I'll see you next time.